Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elise Gary, and I'm the principal of Killingly High School. I want to welcome you all to the 145th commencement exercises to graduate our class of 2020. We are going to introduce right now Mr. Michael Lefebvre, who is going to read the names of our students entering the military before we begin handing out diplomas. I'd like to also remind you that if you would like to listen to this on your car radio station, it is 88.7 FM, and we are also live streaming on channel 22 on the Killingly High School website or the Killingly Public Schools website. You can find it on a link.
At this time, we would like to recognize the students who have chosen to serve our country in the military. Joseph Haig, United States Marines. Tanner Stahl, United States Air Force. Benjamin Thiru, United States Air Force. Griffin Bellavance, United States Coast Guard. Caleb Johnson, United States Air Force. Jamie Velez, United States Army. At this time, our students serving in the military will lead us in a virtual Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Superintendent Rio, by the authority invested in me as the principal of Killingly High School, I present to you the class of 2020. I certify that the class of 2020 has fulfilled its educational requirements in all areas of the curricula and is now ready for the awarding of diplomas. You don't do anything after they get diplomas.
Alexandra Purcell. Christopher Powell. Russell Farnsworth. Rebecca DiBenedetto. Isabella Deep. Mariah Owen. Jonathan Lapierre. Aiden Parsons. Faith Botang. Cassidy Lefebvre. Sudalith Savanaphan. Isabel Tang. Jenna House. Eddie Esposito. Courtney Ennis. Connor Chahanovich. Brianna Rumrill. Brett Sheridan. Hey, Bradley. Bradley George. Cameron Crow. Jonathan Rodriguez Mendez. Alex Rodriguez. Molly Morse. Justin Mayato. Jacob Suksavath. Tyree Albee. Alexander Vaness. Lexi Brunette. Carly Seifert. Carolyn Gagnon. Robert Challenor. Alyssa Goudreau. Brianna Caffrey. Lauren Kirkconnell. Hannah Mason. Julia Beausoleil. Madison Lewis. Ariana Benenda. Colby Walters. Colby O'Donnell. Joey Rendon. Ethan Preston. Isabel Croak. Anthony Nagel. Robert St. Pierre. Benjamin Torre. Chelsea Witkowski. Mirabelle Bates. Angelica Frankowitz. Aiden Keach. Jordan Drivels. Kaylee Mayo Raquel. Kaylee Martineau. Emma Turner. Riley Zadora. Christopher Lackner. Shane Bigelow. Abigail Sorrell. Ashley Adamo. Madison Rattray. Jacob Greb. Miles Cook. Caitlin Shanette. Katie Lorenza. Jasmine Neal. Villisone Cam. Madison Stevens. Zeta Jones. Aaliyah Jefferson. Oliver Hopkins. Alyssa Hansen. Jacob Gilman. Keely Serbo. Seth Lambert. Benjamin Morin. Joshua Heaney. Jasmine Varespi. Madeline Gary. Allison Wetherill. Amanda Mills. Jamie Lohman. Lauren Legassi. Ashley Ray. Brianna Breer. Riley Lopes. Jackson Lopes. Stephanie Bellows. Corin McCartney. Chloe Hibbard. Mariah Deschamps. Devin Keene. Chandler Bowden. McCory Merrill. Alyssa Saratelli. Tanner Stahl. Parker Mandeville. Joseph Gardner. Lauren Jones. Gabriel Frink. Marissa Ortiz. Nikki Lecanto. Gabrielle Goulet. Benjamin Thiru. Dylan Shaw. Bridget Moran. Timothy Pendlebury. Joseph LaFortune. Griffin Bellavance. Lucas Guastini. Justin Montero. Trinity Angel James. Mackenzie Jackson. Selena Vargas. Michael Collins. Jasmine Owning. Jonathan Cresswell. Samantha Murd. Haley Chester. Thomas Desjardins. Caleb Johnson. Annabelle Sparling. Joseph Haig. Brianne Benoit. Brandon Brillen. Alex Gill. Alexis Manfredo. Alyssa Burlingame. Sierra Rocha. Jaslyn Clark. Christopher Ward. Amira Samuel. Brianna Hogan. Jacob Gould. Clarice McGuire. Eric Rendon. Jacob Nurse. Aaron Townsend. Evan Townsend. Christiana Filbert. Tyler Erickson. Sanjay Bennett. Kelsey Castaldi. Ryan Knoll. Jacob Rondo. Mackenzie Weaver. Adam Pulver. Haley Messier. Bryce Pratt. Austin Dione. David Sharon. Brooke Passay. Isaac Bean. Garrett Salisbury. Nadia Ponciano. Savannah Burnham. Jordan Marshall. Aaron DeRoyan. Aiden Dickey. Leah Murdoch. Olivia Privy. Jamie Velez. Caleb Peckham. Dale Eaton. Cody Smith. Hannah Courier.
I would now like to introduce Mr. Stephen Rio, Superintendent of Schools, to do the completion of the graduation requirements.
To complete my duties as Superintendent of Killing Public Schools, I am hereby honored to introduce the Chairman of the Board of Education, who will confer the graduates with their diplomas. I certify that the class of 2020 before you and those who have passed by us have met all requirements of the Department of Education and the Killingly Board of Education. Mr. Chairman?
On behalf of the Killingly Board of Education and in accordance with the statutes of the state of Connecticut and policies of the Killingly Board of Education, it gives me great pleasure to accept the class of 2020 and confer upon each member the diploma of graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, I present to you the Killingly High School class of 2020.
As the final element of all graduation ceremonies, I would ask our graduates, wherever you are throughout Killingly, to join us in a real or virtual turning of the tassel from the right to the left side, signifying your journey from scholar to citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, we wish the best on the graduates of 2020. Good luck in your journey and Godspeed.
Welcome to our graduates, Superintendent Mr. Rio, Assistant Superintendent Mr. Paul Brenton, and Board of Ed Chairperson Mr. Doug Farrow. Parents, relatives, and friends to the 145th commencement exercises for the Killingly High School class of 2020, and to all of you who are watching from a safe place. Although this may not be what we imagined our graduation would look like, at least last fall or even 4 years ago, that doesn't mean that there is something wrong. It's just different. As some of you may know, this is the class of students that started with Mrs. Legassi, Mr. Lefebvre, and myself as the new administrative team their freshman year in 2016. I have been waiting for this graduation for 4 years as a high school principal, and I have never enjoyed anything so much in my career. Thank you for all of the memories that you have provided Killingly High School and me. I will never forget the lessons you have taught us here at Killingly High School. I am so honored to be able to address the class of 2020 today. Bittersweet in many ways for me on a personal level, but I also know that I have many friends who are heading into this world to make it a better place. Actually, you all already have made this world a better place in your own ways, and I couldn't be prouder. You have stood up for what you believe in and have taken those stands in your own ways. Some of you have written the Board of Education, some of you have spoken out publicly, others have modeled in a better way to be for all of their circle. Each of those are perfect and send a message to the community, the world, in order to serve as the greater good. As I have said in other meetings, if we know better, we should do better. The class of students have helped the community to see that doing better is why we are on this journey now, today and in the future. I would be remiss if I did not address the world that we are living in now and the community that has begun to grow and change as a result of the shifts we have seen both in the high school and the greater Killingly community. As students, you have led the way in challenging current thinking and accepted behaviors of differences in this world and our small community. Because of all of you, families are having conversations they might not have ever had. Because of you, teachers and students are having courageous conversations more than ever before. And because of you, we are beginning to understand the history of oppression and why it is not okay to continue in this manner of thinking and behaving. In many ways, you have also had to face challenges as students, whether you are fighting a stereotype or struggling with an issue in your own lives. This class has endured some very hard moments and that have challenged your thinking and shifted in many ways. Every man of humane convictions must decide on the protest that best suits his convictions, but we all must protest. Martin Luther King, Jr. I ask you, as you continue in your journey as thinkers, learners, and just humanitarians, please stand up against oppressive behavior in some way. Do this through speaking out, educating yourselves and others, listening to others. These can be small protests or a larger statement. I will leave you with this quote. Here is the true meaning and value of compassion and nonviolence when it helps to see the enemy's point of view, to hear his questions, to know his assessments of ourselves. For from his view, we may indeed see the basic weaknesses of our own condition. And if we are mature, we may learn and grow and profit from the wisdom of the brothers who are called the opposition. These are the words again of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Take these words on your journey, graduates of 2020. I love you all and will miss you deeply. And please know that Killingly High School will always be a soft place where you can land. I would now like to share with Superintendent Rio By the authority vested in me as the principal of Killingly High School, I present the class of 2020. I certify that the class of 2020 has fulfilled its educational commitments in an area of curricula and is ready for the awarding of diplomas. I would now like to introduce Mr. Steve Rio, our Superintendent of Schools.
Hi, everyone. This is Steve Rio, Superintendent of Killing Public Schools. As Superintendent, I have the honor of speaking to the graduating seniors every year. My gift to you this year is a short speech. I'm sorry for the school year that you've had, one of hardship and heartbreak. We truly are. This has been the hardest year of my 20 years in Killingly, and I will not begin to pretend to understand how hard it's been for you or your family. But I believe out of each crisis comes a silver lining if you choose to search for one. I have had the opportunity to collaborate with your teachers and administrators, coaches, and all the support staff that make up Killingly Public Schools what it is. And what I've learned from our current situation is that these people love you. They have worked tirelessly to ensure that you can get the best possible education. They've been trying to provide you with the best emotional support that they can, and they consistently advocate for the best resources that you can use. Your supports at KHS were vast, and the people here were always ready to give 100%. It's easy to feel sorry for ourselves in the current situation. You may even feel that you have the right to be angry and to complain. Finding the strength to look for the positive within the hardest situations will better serve you as you move forward through life. For example, there are more people that are educated today about the social injustices in the world than there were a year ago. And I'm not just talking about the recent outcry for justice. Your class has been tackling the issues of equity and racial rights even before you were in high school. Through your clubs at KISS, the assemblies at KHS, your coursework, the meetings, advocating for what you believe is right. You should be proud of your efforts. Clearly, there's still more work to do, but I am proud to know that you are all from Killingly. This year will not be the only year that you face hardship, but if you search for the positive and ask yourself, how did I grow from this experience? There will always be something of value to take away from difficult situations. There are many things you can be grateful for, including your friends, family, and living in a community that cares for you. I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and I hope that you know the Killingly High School family always has your back. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Good evening, Mr. Rio, Superintendent, Ms. Gary, Principal, Mr. Lefebvre and Mrs. Legassi, Assistant Principals, members of the Killingly Board of Education, faculty, staff, parents, and fellow graduates. It is my honor as the Salutatorian of the class of 2020 to address you. Before I elaborate on some personal lessons from my time here at KHS, I would like to celebrate some of our class's outstanding achievements. During our time here, the class of 2020 has accomplished many feats that high schoolers around the world aspire to reach. Academically, our class is sending the most students in our school's history to our nation's most prestigious institutions. Athletically, we have acquired more state championship and Eastern Connecticut titles than I can count on all of my fingers. Musically, we have gained recognition from the regional to the New England level. Furthermore, all of us are leading or involved in other activities, such as clubs, community service, and/or taking care of our family, while still being responsible for schoolwork, which is actually quite a lot. Being something of a math geek, I had to figure out at least an approximation of how much schoolwork we've done. And considering that we have around 180 days in a typical school year, that we have around 3 pages of work per school day, and that we have been doing this for 4 years now, each of us has completed around 2,160 pages. Imagine everyone, we could have been authors and got paid for all that writing. All of this work has helped me, and I hope everyone else, learn who we are and what we are capable of. For me, all those hours of homework have taught me one valuable lesson. If you do not do the work, it will not go away on its own. Believe me, I've tested this hypothesis many times, perhaps too many times for the average salutatorian. However, in all seriousness, I have learned a much more valuable lesson. There is nothing that we cannot handle. All the homework that I was hoping would mystically disappear would, in fact, disappear when I put all my effort and focus. Those daunting standardized tests were easy once I really honed in on how I could improve from my mistakes. From simply playing the trombone, I learned to make music with it when I practiced with a firm resolution to sound like a professional. These changes in me, I believe, are applicable to anyone, just as our accomplishments show. Innate ability, as the word's etymology suggests, is only useful when you're an infant. After that, it's devotion, passion, and work that distinguish one from the crowd. Since I have the floor, I might as well describe my motivation to get here. It is best put by the words of Julius Caesar in 47 BC, when he said, "Veni, vidi, vici," which roughly translates to friendship and value. Friendship has motivated me to work hard in class because I believe that what we learn provides the foundation for building relationships. The information we learn can simply be used as a topic for discussion, or more complexly, for helping each other develop thoughtful and considerate opinions. Which leads to my next reason, the value of education. Thousands, not tens, not hundreds, but thousands of years of observing, thinking, and communicating have led to the formulation of the public education that we have today. To have all of this information condensed into 12 years makes me, and I'm sure everyone else, thankful to Killingly High School for equipping each of us with the knowledge necessary to grow and lead the world in our own way. I also would like to comment upon the current state of global affairs. As division and difficulty lurk around every corner because of the ongoing coronavirus and the recent tragedies of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd, it is imperative that we take a moment to reflect on some of our positive actions during the recent crises so that we can permanently heal our wounded society. At a family level, siblings, parents, and relatives are closer than ever as we rely on each other as confidants and friends when we cannot interact with our peers at school or work. At an environmental level, we are becoming closer to the Earth. More people are going to parks, and the largest hole of stratospheric ozone at the North Pole that has been around for the past 35 years has recovered. At an international level, many countries unaffected by the COVID-19 pandemic are sharing their resources generously to help those who are struggling. It is only now, when we are undergoing such difficulty, that we can fully appreciate the importance of life, humanity, and compassion for one another. There is nothing that we cannot handle together. In fact, these positive displays of unity and community have solidified my ambitions to become a doctor. Since my freshman year, I have wanted to go into medicine because of the opportunity to help others live their lives to the fullest. Yet, this is only doable when people are healthy. However, this year, after seeing the impact of a single new virus and the response of our genuinely wonderful world, I've discovered a newfound motivation within myself to take time to learn how I can help the situation and fit my piece in the proverbial puzzle. For this, I would like to thank Killingly High School. By guiding us to form thoughtful questions and teaching us to think both deeply and practically, Killingly High has taught us the essential skill of self-reliance. Never would any of us have been able to consider that school could be continued virtually. However, because of our class's ability to take up the responsibility of learning independently, online school has proved to work, even though we cannot physically be with our teachers. This ability to work and grow by ourselves is a testament to the ambition and intelligence that is embodied in the class of 2020. So, graduates, please carry these two themes everywhere you go after this evening. First, you can do anything you put your mind to. And second, unity is strength, especially now. Thank you most of all to my mother, father, and brother for always giving me love, care, and a place to call home. Thank you, teachers, for all your knowledge, wisdom, and attention. Lastly, thank you, Killingly High School, for letting me meet and bond with so many interesting, hardworking friends. Congratulations, class.
Congratulations to my fellow members of the class of 2020. To put it simply, this has been a school year we could have never imagined. Despite being physically separated for over 2 months, Our school community has miraculously remained united throughout this difficult time. Our teachers and administration have continuously kept our welfare and education as their first priority. Friends moved gatherings to FaceTimes, and many student organizations resumed their activities remotely. KTV began at-home episodes, the Red Line continued writing, music department officers planned end-of-the-year ceremonies, and class officers discussed graduation. This shows just how strong Killingly High School is. Even with physical barriers, we still manage to remain united in times of difficulty. If anything, this quarantine has taught me the inexplicable marvel of human perseverance. How, even in the worst of times, people can rise from the ashes filled with hope. Reflecting on the role models in my life, I realize they have done exactly this. I think we can all agree. Life isn't easy, but it's how we respond to those challenges that defines us. My grandfather, or Papa as I call him, is one of my role models in life who has encompassed this principle. At the age of 16, both his family and my grandmother's family made the intimidating journey from their homeland of Cuba to the United States in search of freedom and an escape from the harsh communist regime. I have no doubt that it was difficult for him to say goodbye to the only world he had ever known. His approach to life was framed from that defining moment. He became willing to do things that may have seemed nearly impossible, as long as it meant doing the best for his family. Despite numerous challenges that came along the way, my Papa became an engineer in the United States. As you could expect, I have learned many valuable lessons from him. One comes in the form of an old Cuban saying, "Cuando la comida está en la mesa, coma," meaning, when the food is in front of you, eat it. My grandfather, Papa, told me this when I went to him seeking advice on whether or not I should have taken a leap on an educational opportunity. I was uncertain and doubtful about if it was the time for me to take the leap, but his words gave me the clarity I needed. We should all follow his advice. When you have an opportunity, take it. Life works in mysterious ways, and the best things are often unexpected. You never know when you'll get a chance like it again, so when it's there, take it. In my own experiences, actually enduring transformative opportunities has never been comfortable. Thinking back to my early days of education in elementary school, classwork and homework was far from easy for me. I was a late bloomer. I stayed back in kindergarten, couldn't cut with scissors, struggled to master reading my heart words or basic words like I, you, and am, and had interventions. My teacher had a serious conversation with my mom, telling her that I needed to become more independent and that I was really behind the other kids. So reluctantly, my parents set their little bird free to explore the wondrous invention of scissors. Guess what happened? After taking the scissors to her Barbie dolls and her My Little Ponies, their little bird decided to cut off some hefty 3-inch sections of her little sister's hair. Sorry, Julia. I guess I can see why my parents were so anxious to let me do more things on my own. The point I'm trying to make is not to lock away all the scissors in your house when you have kids, but to realize that each obstacle is a way to grow into the person you are meant to become. That food sitting on the table may come when you least expect it. So here we are, dealing with a pandemic. COVID-19 inflicted damage that can never be repaired, cost millions of jobs, and took the precious lives of so many people. Much of this damage is visible in our own community. At the same time, we were tested to see if we truly could work together towards the common good in society. and we're forced to refocus on what really matters. Spending time away from distractions reminds us of what we love, who truly cares, how we see ourselves, and what our priorities really are. It gave us the critical time to process our high school experience and what we want for our future. As we approach the rest of our lives, don't forget these truths. Rise from the ashes and take this lesson with you. I would like to take the time to thank the people behind our education. To all of our teachers, thank you for coming to school every day to share your knowledge with us. Your giving and caring attitudes do not go unnoticed. Your support is what got us through some of our hardest obstacles and made us realize just how capable we were. You continuously built us up and allowed us to grow more than we ever thought we could. Thank you for challenging me and my classmates every day we set foot in the classroom. Thank you to my entire family and Grandma, Abba, Papa, and my parents. You are my everything. I don't know what I did to deserve such an amazing blessing of the presence and love of family. You no doubt are the reason I am here today. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this milestone with me. With all the sacrifices my family has made for me, I promise to keep cherishing la comida en la mesa and make the most of the blessings I have been given. Last but not least, thank you to my classmates, who were a huge part of my high school experience. I've grown and changed because of you, and will never forget the memories made. Throughout high school, I witnessed your countless achievements and overall growth. We have so much to be proud of and grateful for. Our post-secondary school decisions were made for a reason, whether you're heading off to college, the military, or to work. We have so much potential to do amazing things and change the world. Focus on growing into your best self, rather than comparing yourself to others. This will only be a pitfall to your success. You are your own greatest competition. Keep in mind that you will not always be making the conscious decision to grow. Sometimes we're forced into it. My grandmother, or Abba, as I call her, always says that she never knew leaving Cuba would mean it was the last time she would get to be a kid. For our class, this moment may have been our last day of actual school, March 13th, 2020. Even though we had no choice but to leave for good, it forced us to mature in ways we could have never imagined. Life will continue to force us to change even when we don't want to. Embrace changes. Give all new people and experiences a chance. And keep an open mind. Through it all, remember who you are, where you came from, your morals, and your upbringing, because that will always be your foundation and be what makes you stand out. Let your decisions reflect how seriously you take your goals and your future. I firmly believe our class is going to make the world a better place as long as we stay true to our core. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Let's take on the world.
Hello to my fellow classmates, parents, teachers, staff, relatives, and to all of you tuning in to support us. My name is Faith Boating, and I am the president of the graduating class of 2020. I remember saying that for the first time in the gym and being taken aback by such a warm, dramatic welcome. At that moment, I knew that I was in for a ride. I envisioned this moment to be significantly different, where we'd all be together in our caps and gowns, laughing joyously at our history and celebrating together for what is to come. But unfortunately, these unprecedented times have robbed us of those precious moments, yet at the same time have allowed us to appreciate the ones that we have already made together. As kids, we always looked forward to growing up and becoming a big kid, But now that we have reached this period, I'm sure many of us wish that we could slow things down and have more time together. Upon our first arrival to high school, we walked in as confused children, just talking about Pokemon Go and dabbing, while everyone was exclaiming how these 4 years are gonna fly by so fast, and you're not even gonna realize it. I listened to each person politely nodding in agreement as if it were true, but deep down I was scoffing like, there's no way. 4 years is practically an eternity. I remember freshman first day, we had to go through what seemed like, at the time, the worst, most awkward and intricate path to get into the auditorium. We were applauded, which made us extremely uncomfortable. Emphasis on that extreme. But that was just one of the few experiences we've had together. Within our time here, we've endured a plethora of both good and bad moments. This year, in the midst of choosing a new mascot, something designed to bring us together, our town became torn and divided. But even through those extremely difficult times, we still held on to what makes us us. We sang our hearts out to the school song at football games. We enjoyed our last homecoming together. Our student section at the basketball games was booming with vivacious energy. We still stuck by each other's sides. I watched a sermon by Michael Todd where he discusses how people are planted and not buried. And I realized that in that moment, within those low seasons we experienced here at Killingly, we were under a lot. Feeling undervalued, under pressure, under attack, under extreme discomfort. All of that is where we experienced our portion of being planted and not buried. Being under does not equate to our situations being over. See, the process for the two are extremely similar. Find a solid ground, dig up dirt, lay the object, cover it in more dirt, yet there is a significant difference between the two. Unlike being buried, planted encourages a fresh new start, cultivating a new beginning for us, where we can use our failures as fertilizer in order to point us in the right direction, to use the anger and frustration we once had and channel it into passion to bringing our community together, all with the common goal of growth and unity. Regardless of where you stood on the issue, hopefully you can remember the big picture, to focus on what can bring us together rather than what it is that tears us apart. Like being state champs for football in 2017, golf champions in 2018, wrestling champs in both 2019 and 2020, not to mention the girls basketball team won the ECC division regular season for the first time in 22 years. We have Ivy League scholars, future farmers and cultivators who will sustain our food source for ages to come, engineers, artists, innovators who will shape our future. The list goes on and on. Killingly became the rich soil we were planted in. Our successes became the sunlight that beamed brilliantly, and our failures were the water that contributed to our growth. On the topic of growth, I would like to have you imagine yourselves standing up on your feet. Picture that you've positioned yourself to stand a little bit greater than, with your legs a little greater than shoulder width apart. Cup your hands into fists and place them onto your sides. Now puff out your chest like a bodybuilder. And boom. So when I had watched a TED Talk by Amy Cuddy in English last year, shout out to my AP Lang class, she discussed how people felt after performing that activity, expressing how they were feeling energized, awake, like a superhero, and powerful. And for me, powerful became the key word. Believe it or not, I ambitiously began writing this speech in the beginning of my sophomore year in hopes of still holding this position when graduating. I wished to have this position for all 4 years, and we made it happen. But my lack of confidence caused me to doubt myself every single time. I questioned myself continuously and found myself shrinking, like many of those prior to the exercise. A lot of them were slouched in their seats, hunched in a bit, making themselves seem smaller. But afterwards, they sat more upright, with more poise and confidence than previously. Too often, we unintentionally belittle our abilities, doubting and questioning if we can really do it, shrinking ourselves to fit into labeled boxes and dimming our light to prevent other people from being blinded. But today, I am encouraging you all to shake the room with your presence. Do not belittle yourselves. Don't shrink into little beings, but rather allow the world to feel every fiber within your body. Let your light engulf the darkness. Unapologetically you, because that is our greatest power, our individuality. We once were the quietest group in the pep rallies, and I can recall being embarrassed as a whole because we were too afraid to show any sort of pride. But now we are here and full of vigor, which shows our growth and connection. Yet that growth would not have been possible without the help of an abundance of people. I would like to extend my gratitude to all of those who helped contribute to our lives. To our parents who guided and supported us to this point from birth, the teachers and staff who nurtured us, to the lovely cafeteria ladies who prepared our meals and served them with a smile, to the kind-hearted and generous custodians who maintained such a great facility, to the PE teachers who shouted at us during that dreadful mile, to the guidance counselors who cared for us as if we were their own. Thank you. Each and every one of you has made a significant impact on our lives, and there is no way to truly repay you for everything that you have done. Hopefully, one day I'll be able to sign off some checks for you, but in all seriousness, we know putting up with us was not the easiest, and you proved that it truly does take a village to raise a child. With all of that said, to my peers, I am so grateful to have shared this part of my life with you all, to have had moments of both joy and pain that helped contribute to our growth. I hope each and every one of you is able to fulfill your dreams and that your heart desires come to pass. Even though we're running our own races and no longer in the same classroom together, I hope you will consider the shoes of other people and how they're moving, and maybe even stop to help along the way. Just know that our reunion will be one for the books. From the bottom of my heart, thank you and congratulations.
Hi, I'm Richard Blumenthal, your United States Senator, and I'm really so excited and honored to be congratulating you and wishing you well on this momentous occasion in your lives. It is far from a normal time, and this graduation is different. But you should feel no less joy and pride in this enormous accomplishment. And you should feel the same kind of thanks to your parents, guardians, loved ones, and family, and your friends. All of them have played a part in enabling you to reach this enormously important moment. And thanks also to the faculty and the teachers and staff of your school that have worked hard to enable you to reach this point. And of course, to many others, our veterans, for example, who have kept us free. This time ought to be a moment where you give thanks, but also where you resolve to give back and to enable the folks who are taking your same footsteps, your younger brothers and sisters, your younger friends, others who need your leadership and your role models. And of course, to give back to your communities. So important that you recognize that civic responsibility. Thank you to every one of you for working so hard and for making possible all of us to be proud of you today. Thank you.